Very sad news for every fan. Loudly crying face, the hidden tears of Lionel Messi. Loudly crying face, the heartbreaking truth behind his smile. In the dusty streets of Rosario, Argentina, a small boy used to spend every waking hour with a ball at his feet, chasing a dream that his own body seemed determined to take away from him. His name was Lionel Messi. Today, the world speaks of Lionel Messi as a god of football, a magician who has conquered every peak of the sport. But behind the 8 Ballon d'Or trophies and the World Cup glory lies a story of physical pain, a child's lonely tears in a foreign land, and a man who spent nearly 2 decades carrying the crushing weight of a nation's expectations on his fragile shoulders. This is not just a story of a legendary athlete. This is the story of a boy who was told he was too small to play, but who proved that a giant heart is the only thing that truly matters. This is the deep, emotional journey of Lionel Messi. The struggle for Lionel Messi began at the age of 10. While other children were growing tall and strong, Lionel Messi stopped growing. He was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency. His family, working class and humble, could not afford the nearly $1,000 a month required for the treatment. Imagine a child having to inject a needle into his own legs every single night, year after year, just for the chance to be normal. The pain was not just physical. It was the financial shadow that hung over his parents, Jorge and Celia. When local clubs in Argentina refused to pay for his medicine, the dream seemed to be dying before it had even begun. Lionel Messi was a boy who loved his home, but he realized that to survive and to play, he had to leave his world behind. At 13, Lionel Messi flew across the ocean to Barcelona with nothing but a promise written on a paper napkin. Life in Spain was a test of absolute isolation. Lionel Messi was a quiet, shy boy who barely spoke. In the dressing rooms of La Masia, he was so silent that some of his teammates thought he was mute. But the silence hid a deep, aching homesickness. Lionel Messi lived in a small apartment with his father, while his mother and siblings eventually had to move back to Argentina. He spent nights staring at the ceiling, crying in secret so his father wouldn't see his pain. He was a child who was separated from his mother's embrace, all for the sake of a football. He worked harder than anyone else, training through injuries and the physical toll of his medical treatments. He was often bullied for his height, called the dwarf by opponents, but Lionel Messi never responded with words. He responded with the ball. He chose to turn his loneliness into a weapon of pure talent. The most agonizing part of Lionel Messi's journey was his relationship with his national team. 4 years, Argentina was the place of his greatest heartbreak. He lost final after final. He was criticized by his own people, accused of not feeling the shirt, because he had left for Europe so young. The pressure became a toxic ocean. In 2016, after losing the Copa America final on penalties, the world saw something it never thought it would. Lionel Messi broken. He sat on the grass, his head in his hands, weeping like a child. That night, he announced his retirement from international football. He said, "I've done all I can, it hurts not to be a champion." He was a man who had everything but the one thing he wanted most, and the weight of that failure almost made him walk away from the game forever. He felt like he had let down the ghost of Maradona and the hopes of 45 million people. Success at the club level was staggering, but the mental toll of the constant comparison and the relentless spotlight was heavy. Verified reports and interviews have often hinted at the extreme anxiety Lionel Messi felt before big matches, sometimes resulting in him being physically ill on the pitch. According to various media sources, the stress of the 2014 World Cup final loss and the subsequent years of near misses created a shadow of depression that followed him for a long time. Fans often saw a man who looked older than his years, a man who rarely smiled despite the records he was breaking. He was a prisoner of his own greatness, expected to be a savior in every single minute of every single game. The fear of failure wasn't just about a trophy. It was about the crushing realization that time was running out. Why do people love Lionel Messi with such religious devotion? It is because he represents the triumph of the small over the large. People love Lionel Messi because he never became a diva. Despite being the most famous person on the planet, he remained the humble boy from Rosario who just wanted to play for his grandmother. His celebration, pointing his fingers to the sky, is a tribute to his grandmother who believed in him when no one else did. He is loved because he doesn't seek the spotlight. The spotlight finds him. He is the quiet man who speaks with his feet, the father who puts his children above his fame, and the athlete who showed us that it's okay to cry when you lose. His humanity is what makes his magic believable. The professional achievements of Lionel Messi are a mountain of gold. He has won a record 8 Ballon d'Or awards and 6 European Golden Shoes. In December 2022, he finally achieved his ultimate dream, leading Argentina to a World Cup victory in Qatar, a moment that moved the entire world to tears. Verified financial data from outlets like Forbes estimate Lionel Messi's career earnings to exceed $1.3 billion, with a current annual income at Inter Miami reaching nearly $150 million when including commercial deals. He has won 45 official trophies, making him the most decorated player in the history of the sport. But for Lionel Messi, the only number that matters is the 2022 on the World Cup trophy. Lionel Messi's future is a sunset he is finally enjoying. Now playing in the United States, his goal is no longer to prove anything to the world, but to enjoy the game he loves. His future plans involve growing the sport in North America and eventually returning to Barcelona or Argentina in a leadership role. He dreams of a life of peace with his wife, Antonella, and their 3 sons. He wants to be remembered not as the greatest player, but as a good person. He has hinted that his time on the pitch is drawing to a close, and he wants to leave the game while he is still able to make a child in the stands smile. The story of Lionel Messi is a testament to the fact that greatness is not given, it is endured. He took the needles in his legs and turned them into the strength to run past the world. He took the tears of his childhood and turned them into the joy of a nation. Lionel Messi is a reminder that being small is only a physical state, but being great is a state of the soul. He spent 20 years carrying the dreams of a country, and he finally brought them home. As the story concludes, let the image of Lionel Messi holding the World Cup be a lesson for us all. Don't give up when they tell you you're too small. Don't stop when you lose the first, second, or third time. Keep playing, keep believing, and keep your heart humble. Lionel Messi didn't just win a trophy. He won the hearts of every person who has ever struggled to fit in. He is the king who never forgot he was once a boy with a broken dream. Thank you, Lionel Messi, for showing us that magic is real, but it only belongs to those who are brave enough to suffer for it. Your story is the greatest fairy tale football has ever told, and the world is better because you chose to play.